Hello everybody, welcome to story time. We are going to read a really fun book today called The Sun is Kind of a Big Deal. And it's by Nick Seluk and the publisher is Scholastic, so thank you. The Sun is Kind of a Big Deal. Here we go. I like this picture. The sun is kind of a big deal. All of the planets and the sun live together in the solar system like a big family. The sun is our solar system's very own star. Seriously, the sun is an actual star. It's the only star in our solar system, and it sits right in the center holding everything together. Jupiter saying, "Can I have your autograph? It's for my moon, Callisto." So, what's in the solar system besides the sun and the planets? Dwarf planets, 5 rocky bodies that are smaller than planets, asteroids, small rocky objects that move around between Mars and Jupiter in the asteroid belt, meteors, streaks of light created when pieces of space rock or metal speed into Earth's atmosphere. If you see a shooting star, it's actually a meteor. Comets, icy rocks that shoot through space and leave a trail of gas and dust. Aliens, okay, maybe not, but we're always looking for them. Oh, hey, guess what? Our solar system is just one of many solar systems that exist. A galaxy is a group made up of billions of solar systems. Our galaxy is called the Milky Way. There are billions of galaxies out there, and together they make up the universe. Can you count to 1 billion? That would take a long time. The sun is the biggest thing in the solar system. It's even bigger than Earth. Way bigger. Way, way bigger. Like over 1 million times bigger. Ow, it burns! This is why I keep my distance. There are much bigger stars than the sun, but all of the other stars you see are really, 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 really far away. Really? Really. The other stars are in totally different solar systems and have their own planets. The Earth is the 3rd planet away from the sun. Remember Earth? It's that little planet where you and everyone you know lives. Mercury says, "I'm the baby." Venus says, "I'm the hottest planet." Earth says, "I have cats." Mars says, "Did someone lose a rover?" Jupiter says, "I'm gassy." Saturn says, "Hula hoop champion." Uranus says, "I spin sideways." Neptune, "It's cold out here." Pluto used to be a planet, but scientists decided it didn't quite fit the definition. Now it's called a dwarf planet. Sorry, Pluto. And Pluto's there saying, "I'm still here, guys." The planets move around the sun like a big racetrack in space. Each planet has its own special path it follows. That's called an orbit. Its orbit. Some planets are faster than others, but each one stays in its lane. I really feel like I have to go farther than you guys. I like that the sun is blowing the whistle. Tweet! All right, so let's look at this page. It takes a whole year for Earth to go all the way around the sun. So one time around the sun, shoo, we got a year. Happy New Year! Do you know how many times you have been around the sun? That's a great question. How many times have you been around the sun? So we got a clue here. It takes 1 year to go around the sun. So how many times have you been around the sun? Hint, how old are you? And that's how many times you've been around the sun. So what does the moon do all year long? While Earth is going around the sun, the moon is spinning around Earth. The moon goes around Earth 12 or 13 times in 1 year. That's about once a month. Depending on where the moon is in its cycle, we might only see part of it. The rest of the moon is in shadow. When we see the whole thing, it's called a full moon. So I'm sure you've noticed the different times of the month, the different visual that we have in the sky for the moon. I know that Will loves the moon, so we're always watching the moon in this house. The sun never stops working. It does a ton of important jobs for Earth. In fact, we wouldn't be around without the sun. Are you sure you need all of this from me? Yes, every second of every day, please and thank you. Why is Earth so important? 2 words, plants and animals. That's 3 words. Still waiting on that autograph. What's this line for? The sun gives us light so we can see, but it takes about 8 minutes for light to get to us because the sun is so far away. It's worth the wait. The Earth spins around in a full circle every day. Night, day. That's why when it's nighttime for you, it's daytime on the other side of the world. Hi again, how was your night? Oh, hey, guess what? As one side of the Earth spins away from the sun, it looks like the sun is setting there and it becomes night. As that side of the Earth spins back toward the sun, it looks like the sun is rising, and you guessed it, breakfast time. The sun is always there, even when you can't see it. Sometimes it looks dark outside during the day because the sun is behind the clouds, but it's still there. Hey, move it, clouds! I was making shadow puppets. Once in a while, it gets dark in the daytime because the moon gets in the sun's way. That's called a solar eclipse, and it only lasts for a little while. Look what I can do! Yes, yes, we're very impressed. Now keep moving. Keeping us warm is another really important part of the sun's job. The sun is hotter than you can imagine, way hotter than fire. Its temperature reaches millions of degrees in the center. Whew. Some places on Earth are warmer than others. The parts of Earth closest to the equator are the warmest. The parts of Earth closest to the North and South poles are the coldest. So then they've shown you where the South Pole is, where the equator is, and where the North Pole is. Oh, hey, guess what? See that red line around the middle of Earth? It's an imaginary line people invented called the equator. It separates the top and bottom halves of Earth. So, now we know it's colder near the poles of Earth and warmer near the equator. But why? Well, the parts of Earth near the equator are getting the sun's heat from straight on. The North and South poles are getting the same amount of sunlight, but it gets spread out over a bigger area. Since these places have to share the sun's heat, they don't get quite as warm. So you can see the rays coming directly at it, whereas they're going and they're dividing out. They're getting less direct at the North Pole and the South Pole. While the Earth is moving around the sun, it is spinning on a tilt. That's why we have seasons. There are 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Because of Earth's tilt, the top half and the bottom half of the world experience the seasons at different times. Top half tilted away. What do you mean it's winter? Bottom half tilted toward. Happy summer, everyone. When the bottom half of the Earth is tilted toward the sun, it is summer there. This also means that the top half of Earth is tilted away from the sun, which makes it winter there. Okay? So think about where you live right now and whether you're tilted away or tilted toward. What season is it where you live right now? The sun's work isn't done yet. Every day, the sun also has an important job in the water cycle: condensation, precipitation, evaporation. What happens during the water cycle? Heat from the sun causes water to mix with air, turning into vapor. That's called evaporation. Then the vapor gathers together to make clouds. That's called condensation. Finally, the water comes back down as rain or snow. That's called precipitation. And the cloud is saying, uh-oh, I'm leaking. And the raindrops are saying, we're back. Woohoo! The water cycle is important for all living things, but especially for plants. Plants need water and sunlight for photosynthesis. That's a big word, but it's also a really big job. What can I do for you today? A little photosynthesis, please. I totally love dirt. Dirt is awesome. I love it. What do I owe you? Oxygen. Photosynthesis is when a plant uses light from the sun, water from the water cycle, and carbon dioxide from the air to make food for energy to help it grow. During photosynthesis, plants make oxygen. That's what animals and people need to breathe. Take a deep breath. You just breathed in a lot of oxygen. Oxygen doesn't have any taste, but it's always there. We can't live without it. If the sun wasn't helping out with photosynthesis, we wouldn't have oxygen. And the plant says, "You're welcome." You can really see why the sun's such a big deal. The sun is pretty great. It's always around, keeping the whole solar system together. It gives us light and keeps us warm. It helps bring us rain and grow plants to produce the oxygen we breathe. It's such a big part of our lives that we wouldn't be able to live without it. The sun works really hard to help us out. That's kind of a big deal. And that is the end of the story. And there are just a couple pages with some ideas and some activities, but I like the last page where, guys, don't forget about me. That is, the sun is kind of a big deal. Isn't that a great book? I really, really, really enjoy these books that Nick Seluk has made because they teach us a lot, but they're also really fun and interesting to look at. And they've got great pictures and great diagrams, and they really help make interesting science topics easy to understand. And so I really love this book, and I hope that you enjoyed it too. The sun is kind of a big deal. All right, friends, grade ones are going to be using this for some activities later this week, but for the rest of the squad, I hope you had fun learning about the sun. And if you decide to do any projects, you can always send them to me for me to see. All right, bye everybody. Miss Sweetman loves you.